Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the Coal Scene. Hope your holidays went well. Here we are, first of the year, and about to start a whole new program schedule. I'm excited today. I'm joined here in the studio by Jason Parsons, who serves as the president for a new upcoming nonprofit organization, Remember the Miners. This organization carries with it a lot of enthusiasm. It's a coal advocacy group that's doing a lot of really good things here throughout the state of West Virginia. Jason, thanks so much for coming by, and I know you're involved in a lot of coal promotion and different coal advocacy programs through the Remember the Miners organization, and we're just excited that you've come by here today to tell us a little bit about it. Why don't we start by getting right into some of the background, some of the activities with the organization.
Great. Well, thanks. I'm glad to be with you today. We have been trying for a while. When I was at West Virginia University and grew up in Boone County, which is the state's leading coal producer, and I'm very proud to be from there. So I grew up, my grandfather was a coal miner, uncle was a coal miner, had aunts and cousins, everybody worked in the industry. And so when I started thinking about it, West Virginia, how do we tell the story of what it means for our economy, how it means just as much to the future as coal was meant to the past, and whether you work in the industry or not, how do we meaningfully engage grassroots people, the next generation, in telling the story of what the coal miner, the coal miner's family, the folks of the industry mean, not only to West Virginia, but to the national economy. And so we were thinking about that, and we got some young people organized a few years ago. And then in April of 2010, the tragedy over Big Branch happened. And I grew up in the community and knew folks that were lost and knew folks that were hurt. And so Coach Huggins, Bob Huggins, who's the honorary chairman of Remember the Miners, and I and a group of the Young West Virginians for Coal, we went down and spent some time with the families, many of whom I knew personally. And we were coming back to Morgantown. We said we should do something. So along with the West Virginia Coal Association, the Friends of Coal, we started a fund called the Upper Big Branch Family Fund, where we raise money for scholarships or some sort of education for the children surviving, the surviving children of those that were lost. And from there we started saying, this has a broader implication. How do we take this great message that we have in honoring what miners in the industry means for the nation, and how do we transform that into an industry-wide campaign whose mission is to tell the story of what coal means? And that's what we try to do through events, through media. We have a scholarship program now in conjunction with the West Virginia Coal Foundation, where we give money to folks that want to pursue a career in the mining industry, whether it's in college, trade school, technical school, or the son or daughter of someone who has worked in the industry. So we're excited. We got a lot of energy. We try to get young people enthused. And basically we tell people, you should join the Friends of Coal. You should join the Faces of Coal. You should come to a Remember the Miners event. You should do all you can to help us tell the story of what we call America's real source of energy, and that's the men and women of the coal industry in West Virginia.
Well, that's a comprehensive introduction, and you addressed a lot of issues, talked about a lot of things, and I want to come back and maybe dissect that a little bit and talk about some of those events and activities more thoroughly. But you brought a video back which captures some of the activities of the organization, and I believe talks about coal in general. So why don't we take a look at this video, which is 4 or 5 minutes in length, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it, and as well as some of the other programs that are currently underway.
Sounds great. Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, if we can take a few moments and view the video that Jason brought, then we'll resume our discussion here in the studio. My name's Chris Hamilton, West Virginia Coal Association.
My name's Bob Dickerson. I'm a third-generation coal miner.
My name is Bill Rainey. I'm president of West Virginia Coal Association.
My name's Raymond Randolph, and I've been a surface coal miner for 35 years.
My name's Jason Bostic. I'm vice president of the West Virginia Coal Association.
I'm Rocky Hackworth. I'm general manager of operations for Pritchard Mining Company.
Proud to be a coal miner. I've worked for Pritchard Mining for 10 years now.
Been in the industry about 39 years now. I started out as an underground miner. I happen to be a first-generation miner, and mining's been really, really good to me and my family.
I'm now Vice President of the Coal Association, and doing that because I was inspired by watching the coal miners in my family and how hard these folks work and how dedicated they are to what they do.
The men and women of today's coal industry are extraordinarily skilled in what they do, and they're very professional, and they show up at work at a mining operation on a daily basis so that you and I can enjoy the quality of life that we enjoy.
You know, if you're working underground, then it's an absolute orchestration of teamwork. It's equipment and people, and it's an absolute engineering phenomena to look at an underground mine.
They are truly a force to be marveled at. The dedication that they have, the exquisite way in which they go about doing that job, their dedication to safety, dedication to their fellow workers, and quite honestly, dedication to their homes and their communities.
I'm an equipment operator for Pritchard Mining. I drive a rock truck is what I do on my day-to-day job.
I'm a foreman here at the mine, and I'm responsible for getting the men out to their specific work areas during the day.
And we all work together as a team. We have a really good group of guys here that work together well.
Seems like coal miners are a very close-knit bunch of men to work with, and about anywhere you go to work, you'll run into someone you've met through the years.
The coal industry is so unique because it has a camaraderie and a teamwork that I don't think is duplicated in any other industry.
The best thing about coal mining is the camaraderie, because you work with the same group of people in the same tough environment. It's a very dangerous environment, but you work with each other and you learn to lean on each other and you learn to trust in each other, and you form a bond with those men.
Everyone depends on one another every day of their lives at the working section in the working pit.
I mean, coal miners, the men and women who make up our industry, are in fact the community.
Like I said before, I am a third-generation coal miner. My son is a fourth-generation coal miner. And I'm proud that he chose to be a coal miner. It has always provided a comfortable living for my family. My father, you know, he worked until he retired. And I'm proud that my son has chosen to do the same thing.
There's so many stories, you know, there's too many to tell, but you always knew that you could trust your men, the men you worked with, whether it was at work or at home. If you had a problem at home, you needed them, they were there.
Just the coal miners and their families, both their generations past and hopefully the generations going forward, that'll make this state and make this region what it is.
When you think about these men and women here in West Virginia, they're pulling that coal out of the ground and they're sending it to a power plant to make electricity so that their lives are better every day. And they get up to conveniences that people over this world don't have any idea about. And it's because the West Virginia coal miner is the reason that their life is so good.
West Virginia coal miners are the most proud people in the entire world. We love what we do, and we're proud to show off what we do.
I'd like to thank the people that's giving support to the fallen miners and the other coal miners. They give their lives working hard to try to provide this resource for people.
I'd like to thank each and every person that supports us. We support you, and we appreciate your support back to us, and you should always remember the miners.
Excellent video. I hope you enjoyed it. It really captures the essence of coal mining and coal miners. Jason, a lot of credit. Kudos to the Remember the Miners organization. An excellent video, and I hope that you know, the miners are looking at this and really you know, acquiring the appreciation for the showcasing of their talents. When you think about it, and it's often been said that we have the best miners in the world. It's a very honorable profession, and when you bear down the essentials of mining and what they do every day, you know, they really supply not only the state of West Virginia here, but the country and the world with low cost, reliable electricity, base fuel to generate electricity. And we all know the reliance we all have on electrical appliances here today.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing. So just kudos for producing that.
Thank you very much. You know, for us, it was when we went through the process of making that video, we wanted it to have something that would tell the story of what the guys who get up and go to work every day, as Bill Rainey said so eloquently in the video, an orchestration of teamwork. And it's a special thing that makes us unique as West Virginians. And from my perspective, you know, and you think growing up, seeing it, living in a coal community, going to school, and the partners of education were coal companies and folks involved in the industry who were really invested. Then you think about the future of our state and what it means. This is who we are. It's what we do. We should be proud of it, and we should recognize whether we work in the industry or not, no matter what age we are. Those of us that want to live and work here and try to make a difference here, you got to start thinking about how do you tell the story of what we do, be proud of what we do, and realize we got to saddle up for the future. You know, I always say we get beat up all the time, but we do more for the country than just about any other state. And our coal miners, without question, and the people of our industry do more. So we got to engage everybody to try to tell that, and that's what we're trying to do. So I hope people enjoyed the video too. We put a lot of work into it. Pritchard Mining, who's a great friend of what we're trying to do, and actually is sponsoring our spring scholars class. We filmed it at their mine in Kanawha County.
You beat me to a lot of the discussion points, because I noted that the Pritchard Mining was featured in Rocky Hackworth, which runs the
Rocky's son, John's operations. A good buddy of mine.
That's right. I remember. Young John was he was a member of one of the founding members of the Young West Virginians
That's
for
right.
Coal.
He was.
That was headquartered out of West Virginia University. And Andrew Jordan's, is the owner of the Pritchard mine.
And he and Becky have been wonderful supporters.
And they are, and so it's good that a lot of their operations showcased in that video, and a lot of the miners that we heard from work at that mine, have worked for years at that mine.
And love what they do, and are invested, and love the people they work with. And that's such an important part of what we do in West Virginia, is we work together. And the coal industry is exhibit A of that. How do we work together to produce something worthwhile? And incidentally, in my opinion, you know, when we're talking about the country today and the challenges we see from Congress and Washington, we should be thinking about how do we replicate part of what we're doing in West Virginia? How do we work together? How do we do what America does and make things and build things and produce something for society, and do it in a way that gives people a chance to have a good job with good wages and good benefits. So for my generation, those are things we got to start thinking about.
Well, and you know, we're trying to attract a lot of people, a lot of younger workers to our industry, and there's a lot of retirement that's currently taking place, and you know, it's been projected that you know, upwards of 50% of our workforce will be retiring over the next decade. So there's a lot of opportunity. It's truly a high growth industry, and it's not just workers that are in need. You know, there's a lot of accountants. There's a lot of middle and upper management positions that are open, and so. And the environmental work today that takes place at coal mining operations, you know, creates the need for a lot of new technical positions.
Right.
Biologists, people with horticulture experiences, chemists. You know, it's truly unlimited.
Well, and you think about what we're doing with our scholars program, and for all the folks watching, you know, that's a joint venture between, as I said before, Remember the Miners and the Coal Foundation. And we look to say, if you want to pursue a career in the industry, doesn't mean you go to college, but if you're going to be an accountant, or you're going to do some environmental work or something along those lines, and that may be what's best. If you want to go to trade school or get some sort of additional skill or training that equips you to go to work in the mines, then that's great too. So what we're trying to do is basically say that if you're a young person and you want to stay in West Virginia, then the mining industry, whether that's a miner, whether it's somebody who works works on site, whether it's somebody who works in management, then we want to help you achieve if we can. We want to be supportive. We want to tell you those opportunities. And we really want to meaningfully, as I said, I can't say it enough, engage people to say, this is what we do. And look, all my, I grew up, and everybody there that I went to school with, they either left, stayed to work, and a lot of folks got a really good job working in the coal industry and are glad they were able to stay home. So it's a real way, particularly as people are retiring and folks are transitioning into retirement, and those vacancies open, that folks my age have a real chance to stay here, make a good living, stay by their families, and it's special when you get to keep people in West Virginia.
Let's talk about Coach Huggins a little bit.
Yeah.
I know he was, and too bad, his schedule didn't permit him to join us today, but maybe we can get him back on a future program.
Yeah, he'd love that.
I know he feels very connected to coal and coal mining. He often observes that, you'll find the same attributes, characteristics among coal miners as you will an athletic team.
That's right.
You have that dedication and preparation and skill that requires development, and most importantly, teamwork across the board. But he was very, very quick to to help out following the UBB disaster, working with you and others to help put together a fund, as you indicated, to help some of the the family members of the deceased miners, and so. And Coach Huggins has done some other things with the organization as well.
Well, first of all, I got to know Coach Huggins when I was at the university and was the student body president. And he came up to me and he says, we got to do something. We got to make student seating better. So whenever he asks you to take a look at something, you do. So we got to work on it and got to know each other. And then after Upper Big Branch, he knew I was from there, and we had a great relationship. And he says, I want to go down. And we got some folks to go, and Greg Darby with Little General, and Little General has been a great supporter of Remember the Miners. He came and truckloads of water and food, and just wanted to say that this is a tough time. We're thinking about you. And he's been the honorary chairman of our campaign now. And I think the real special thing, Chris, about what Coach Huggins does for West Virginia and tries to do and really be a beacon of what we're all about. Everybody expects him to win. He's won forever and a day. He's been a coach for 30 years. Everybody knows that he's going to have winning basketball teams. We're going to do well, and everybody sort of expects that. But what's not inherently expected, and I think this is the real great thing about him and why we all love him so much, is to go out and tell the story. West Virginia, we mine the coal. It powers the world. We got wonderful people who work really hard and have their families in the communities, and he tries to tell that. And I think that's special because it says a lot about him. It says a lot about his devotion to West Virginia. And it's been great for our campaign because we have a chance to do a lot of good with him, give him a chance, and as he said the other day, he raises a lot of money for his mom's cancer fund. He helps with Remember the Miners and gives him a chance to do what he loves to do, and that's give back to West Virginia. So we're very grateful to him.
I know there was a big event last fall preceding one of the football games.
Friends of Coal Bowl.
It was the Friends of Coal Bowl, and it featured Coach Huggins and the first annual fish fry. I know that was a huge success.
It was, yeah, it was great.
And I know a lot of the proceeds went to his mother's foundation for cancer research.
Right. We started a couple years ago talking about how do we do something what kind of event could we do that would be fun, give people a chance to celebrate West Virginia and raise money for good causes. So we came up with this whole idea of the fish fry. We had close to 1,000 people there. We raised $40,000 for the Scholars Program, $40,000 for the Norma May Fund at WVU, as Mary Bab Randolph Center, and Norma May Huggins' Coach's late mother who passed away of cancer. And he's very passionate about it, and we are too, because it's something that everybody in West Virginia knows somebody that's been lost to cancer, has dealt with it. And by the same token, everybody here knows the great things that coal provides for America. So it's a great chance to really do a couple of good things at once. It was great. We're going to do it again this year.
Well, and there's another event coming up here soon.
That's right.
The first Bob Huggins tailgate.
That's right.
Tailgate party. So it's good to see Coach Huggy out and about. And we sure appreciate everything he's done. I know I had a chance to talk with a lot of people down at the UBB disaster, and immediately following Coach Huggins' presence and visit, and you know, it was very uplifting, almost spiritual with the families and given the situation, but also to all the individuals that were involved in the mine rescue and recovery work there. Again, it was just very uplifting, and it was important to them to see that people were taking note of what they were doing.
Right. And you think we just get back from the Final Four, and we had that greatest end, the first time since 1959, and you're right. I mean, for Hugs to say, I want to go thank the folks that are working there. I want to go let the families know we're thinking about it. And there's only so much you can say in a situation like that, because it's tough. But just to be there and show people that you care and you're thinking about it.
Don't need to say much.
It really was a special thing for him to do, and it says a lot about him.
You mentioned Greg Darby and Little General. I see a lot of mining trinkets and different things carrying the Remember the Miners logo around the state, particularly in the Little General stores. And I know Greg, who serves as your chairman right now, has been very instrumental in helping the organization, as he has Cole. I mean, Greg Darby's a real friend of Cole, and we appreciate all he's doing. What are some of the things he's involved with?
Well, Little General, as you said, has been an absolute tremendous supporter, and the really special thing about them, they're one of the state's top 50 employers. A lot of folks don't know that they have 100 locations throughout southern West Virginia, and so he helped us immensely when we went to Upper Big Branch, and we started talking, and he says, you know, coal miners, coal miner family, people that work in the industry, people hauling coal, those are my customers. Those are the folks that come in and fill up with gas and get a cup of coffee. I want to be involved in the program because it matters to me. And he got involved, and he's just been unbelievable. His leadership, he really sets the vision of what we're trying to do, and really trying to tell people that what we're all about is telling the story of what we do in West Virginia, and making people here feel good about it, be proud of it, as we all should be, and let other folks know, hey, West Virginia means something to you. So we've had a whole program of selling our decal, the mining magnet helmet, in the store, raise money for the Scholars Program. They've been the marquee sponsor on the fish fry and the tailgate and all the other fundraising events that we've been doing, and have really been a model of what we try to do, and that is build partnerships that provide value and give folks a chance to let people know that they're a friend of coal and they're a friend of those that work in the industry, and they you know, are interested and engaged in telling the story. And he's been the absolute best leader. As you say, he's chairman of our board, and when you look at a group like Little General or other folks that do business in coal communities and do business in West Virginia and are friends of coal and try to give back, it really makes you feel really, really great, because that means that everybody's invested, and everybody wants to step up and say, how can I help you tell that story?
Switching gears just a little bit, let's talk just briefly about the Young West Virginians for Coal.
Yeah, a group I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I know. You know, you and I worked together to help get that off the ground, and of course you took the reins and caused it to happen. But you know, again, it was just real uplifting to see such a group of energized students.
Right.
Wanting to give some recognition, wanting to work towards improving the image of coal and coal miners. And I think many of those individuals and participants, you know, had family members, a father, an uncle, maybe a grandfather that had worked in the industry.
Absolutely, and we've got, you know, such an engaged group on campus. You know, because when you're there and you're seeing and you're talking about it. And so we said, we got all these folks here, we got all these friends of coal on campus, let's organize, let's start to do some things. So we had a great rally last year in Washington that the Friends of Coal hosted, and went over and basically said, hey, you know what, these are jobs that matter to our families, these are jobs that we're looking to do. I'm a mining engineering student, for example, as one student who's a part of the Young West Virginians for Coal said, and this is, I'm looking forward to this. Is my job, this is my livelihood. and we got to, and Washington can't be coming to tell us what to do in West Virginia. And then when you start to see that young people my age and younger who don't necessarily they're not working in the industry yet, they have family members who do, but to really recognize, and this is the key, the impact and what coal means for West Virginia, and to see that energy and to see everybody out doing those things, it's pretty special. So we're really proud of it. We got a bunch of members on campus, it's growing, and basically say we got to engage the next generation early so everybody knows that coal is just as important to our future as it's been to our past.
Morgantown's probably a good example where you have a little bit of everything.
Right.
And, I mean, I see a lot of Friends of Coal license plates on cars and trucks, you know, with individuals 40, 50 years old going to work or coming from work, and then I see them on the students' cars who belong to the Friends of Coal organization.
Right.
So just real good camaraderie up there and a real good mixture. Looking forward, what do you see with the Remember the Miners, Young Friends of Coal here over the next 12 months, the next 24 months? What's on the horizon?
Well, we're excited. You know, that we're absolutely excited. We're enthused. We want to get people out and doing everything they can to support those that support coal and help tell that story. In the next year, we're going to raise, or aim to raise, and give out $100,000 in scholarships, raise a bunch of awareness, participate in a lot of events, and basically give people a chance to say, hey, thank those that work in the industry. We should be awfully proud of what we're doing. On campus, I know they're planning a forum on coal and what it means for West Virginia, and bring in the folks that understand the economics of it, the grassroots people, the industry folks, the miners, and say all together collectively, this is the impact it has on our state. This is what it means for our future. This is the proud heritage we have in it. And to tell the students, because we got a lot of students, you know, who aren't from West Virginia, and to give them a chance to come and engage in a discussion about how they get their energy, and to go off and carry that message forth and say, hey, you know something, when I go home to Pennsylvania or Maryland or New Jersey, and they mine a lot of coal in Pennsylvania, but to go back and say, West Virginia, they're doing a lot of great things for our country, and the young West Virginians for coal are really leading that effort.
That's super. How about with respect to any events, or if one wants to, the scholarship program, if somebody wants to access or try to be a recipient, a future recipient?
That's a great question, yeah.
Is that on your web,
It is.
information?
RememberTheMiners.org, and you can learn a lot about us. You can learn about the partnerships that we have with groups like Little General, the Friends of Coal, and sort of see what our mission, and you can apply for the scholarship. In fact, the Pritchard Mining class application's open right now, all through February until the 1st of March, the first week of March.